Welcome to the Collegian Report. I'm Annie Witt.
And I'm Ella Stiefvater.
The South Dakota legislative session is soon coming to an end, but there is still legislation that has yet to get a resolution. Senate Bill 100, which would allow enhanced permit holders to carry concealed weapons on public university and technical campuses, is still alive after it was referred to the House State Affairs Committee on February 13th. The bill moved through the Senate with a 33-2 vote after adopting amendments and adding safety restrictions. The other big piece of legislation that would affect students died last week. House Bill 1193, which would have prohibited the Board of Regents and institutions under its control from requiring students to reside in on-campus housing or purchase meal plans, failed by a 42-28 vote in the House of Representatives on February 18th. Stay tuned for a full legislative update after spring break.
The Summit League tournament tips off this week at the Denny Sanford Premier Center, where both the men's and women's basketball teams will compete for the conference title and a chance to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. The women's team swept through the conference regular season for the third year in a row, earning the top seed in the tournament and a spot in the AP Top 25. They will play against either Omaha or Denver on Thursday, March 6th at approximately 2:30 p.m. The men went 11-5 this year, earning the third seed, and will open the tournament against North Dakota at 8:15 on Friday night. The championship games will take place on Sunday, March 9th at 3 and 8 p.m.
As basketball season wraps up, the game day production crew reflects on a year of all new production equipment. The new equipment included a bigger production switcher, an additional replay system, camera shaders, and audio mixers, which added the need for a larger crew and a larger control room. Game day crew director Eric Ray says this year was a learning experience.
We had an idea of how it was going to work, but actually once you get it implemented, new things, obviously brand new control rooms, kind of started from the ground up. There was a learning curve, obviously, with football. Just with the new equipment and new positions, obviously getting students and our freelancers up to speed on the new gear, just kind of trying to figure out how it all would flow and work between the football stadium and First Bank and Trust Arena. But it did take a little bit of time.
The game day crew has been operating Jackrabbit sporting events since 2005, with most of the crew being students that work many sporting events throughout the school year.
Coming up after the break, we'll get an inside look at one of SDSU's newest football coaches.
And a preview for the upcoming Conversations with Kojo podcast.
In the South Dakota Army National Guard, you'll be part of a modern, relevant, and ready force. You'll train locally to master the equipment used to assist and rebuild our communities after natural disasters. You'll become a leader and a member of a team. If you're looking for adventure, it's waiting for you in the South Dakota Army National Guard. To learn more about serving your community part-time, visit nationalguard.com/SB.
Welcome back. With all of the recent change in South Dakota State's football program, the strength and conditioning program is the last piece of the puzzle to come together. Coach Nathan Morris will be in charge of strength and conditioning at South Dakota State moving forward. He was with Sacramento State as Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Performance since 2022. Morris holds degrees in exercise science and physiology. He says it's the culture of the SDSU football team that drew him to the job.
I know the tradition that South Dakota State has and the type of culture and mentality there is, and you have a community that backs the game and backs the university and the sporting world of everything along the lines of that. So just to come in and be a part of that is a big opportunity to kind of get back to where football means something, and it's something where everybody wants to be a part of it and wants to make the program as successful as it can.
Morris looks to bring a newfound intensity and sense of discipline to the Jacks program. His personal mantra is focusing on the small details, which ultimately become the big differences.
The latest episode of our Conversations with Kojo podcast comes out this Friday. Student host Taylor Tennant talks with Landon Dirks, who is an SDSU journalism alumni and sports editor for the Mitchell Republic. You can hear the episode at sdsukojo.podbean.com, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
That's all for this week.
Thanks for joining us.